You're listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast presented by Arizona Lottery. Don't forget to get out and buy your holiday scratchers today. All right, with Jason Scheer, I'm Mike Luke. All right, we've got a lot to get to the show. We're going to talk about awards, the transfer portal, Arizona basketball, and maybe make a case for Jedd Fisch on a few things. But first, Scheer, the long and national local situation has ended. Cruz Rushing has entered the transfer portal. I want to say this, by all accounts, as we've always said, the Rushings are very good kids. This was a miscalculation of epic proportions by George Rushing, and there's a reason that it's kind of become a bad name in the city.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Cruz Rushing, wish him the best and all that, but I mean, this was probably the most predictable transfer in the country when you think about it. He never played. I would be really surprised if Oregon gave him a scholarship. That's just not how Dan Lanning operates. And, here we are, and now we can kind of pretty much forget about the Rushing family and move on.
And what people need to remember, because again, we're putting kind of a bow on this unfortunate situation, but what people need to remember is this. I don't know. Now, listen, there's some people that are mad that he didn't go to Arizona. I get that. But you know what? Bijan Robinson can come back to the University of Arizona and be on the sideline. And guess what? He's signing autographs. He's getting a hero's welcome back, even though he didn't come to the U of A. Nobody cares that Keona Wilhite, again, is going to Washington. It is what all the stuff that George Rushing said about how Jedd couldn't develop talent. That's essentially what he said, along with other things like, I don't know, looking at possibly attending contenders and then naming ASU.
Yeah, I mean, look, and you could say Jedd Fisch is being a little petty, but it very clearly bothered him, because I think at every single press conference since that comment, he has mentioned development in some sort of fashion. And it was just, again, like we've seen decommitment statements, especially this time of year. Go and look at these kids, these major players decommitting. Not one of their messages reads like that message did that day. And that's why Arizona fans are so pissed. Arizona fans would be over it by now had Rushing just said, you know what, I want to go to Oregon.
Right.
Whatever. Just thanks, Arizona, for everything. I changed my mind. But the shots on the way out just are not a good look.
And the multiple shots. And the one that I really still can't get past is the ASU one. That was really the one where you're trying to, and he said that to your guys at 24/7. That's where he was really trying to stick the knife in the back by saying, well, we're looking at places where he can compete for titles. Oh, and let's name ASU.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say about it, because it's like, right. Even ASU fans on the message board, we're like on the ASU message boards, we're like, what? Like, we're not competing for titles anytime soon, so he's not coming here. So it's like, you only mentioned him for one reason, and that was to get under the skin of Arizona fans. And there's.
By the way, I love the fact that Jedd Fisch is petty. I think way too many coaches are of the I got to take the high road. No, man, you've worked your butt off to build the program. You worked your butt off to build the program the way that you have. And when somebody throws those kind of stones at you, throw them right back. I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind. I'm all about me. I'm all about petty. More petty than
Brad Rich. I love you, Brad Rich, but you're wrong here. Kenny Dillingham is a good dude. Now, listen, I'm going to root for him. I'm going to root against it. Not root for him. I'm going to hope that he loses every single game. But Scheer, Dillingham's a good dude.
Yeah, so Mike kind of outed it. So my dad's been in the hospital for days, and he got out yesterday. It's still touch and go. But Kenny Dillingham actually texted me out of the blue. He DM'd me on Twitter and said, wishing the best for your dad and all that. And he did not need to do that at all. And it was actually a really nice message that he sent. So yeah, good human being Dillingham is.
So that's the salute emoji. Sometimes this is above sports. Okay, now do you want to go with the transfer? Let's talk transfer portal. Let's talk transfer portal first. Some names are coming across the wire. Mikey Matthews from Utah. He would be I don't believe that he is better than Kevin Green, but he would be a nice little backup slot receiver with a little bit of upward mobility. What say you, Scheer?
Yeah, they're going to have a few guys on campus. The transfer portal is so heavy right now that, like, I know people are asking me who's visiting and all that, and we've got a couple names, but it's probably one of those situations that, like, basketball does, where you don't say the name until the kid's on campus, just because the transfer portal is so wild. Mikey Matthews is one of them that's going to be on campus. He's very close to the Servite kids. He liked Arizona and chose Utah. I think the biggest thing is, and I like Kevin Green as well.
Be careful here.
We don't know, like, what the coaching staff is thinking. When you think about it, Cowing's gone. Maybe they move Green to the outside and he competes with Montana a little bit. Maybe they come in and they say, look, when you look at the depth chart, there's no one behind Kevin Green at the slot.
Right.
So that's the big thing to me. And I think what people need to realize is now that Cowing is gone, you're going to see more rotation at wide receiver. T-Mac will never leave the field, but at the other spots, I think we're going to see more rotation.
Wait a second. Does that mean that Montana will go off the field at all?
Yeah, Montana went off the field last year. That's when they started putting Riley in.
Oh, all right. I'm just saying. All right, now the other guy that I love the name, Chuba for a defensive tackle out of UC Davis. Massive dude, was Big Sky Freshman of the Year, a couple times all conference. Obviously, we want Big Bill Norton back, but I'm all for bringing in 6'4", 355-pound people, Scheer.
Yeah, look, like, I understand, UC Davis, smaller level football, coached by Dan Hawkins until he retired.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a linebacker that just committed to Cal as well. That defense was actually pretty good. Look, this dude played at Long Beach Poly. He knows some guys on the team. He was actually chose UC Davis over some bigger offers because of the academics. He is 6'2", 350 pounds. Plug him in the middle, and you're good, right? We've said this before. If they're gonna miss, that's fine. I'm not missing with guys that are 5'8", 140. If I'm gonna miss with a 6'2", 350-pound nose tackle, so be it.
TLN, you are much, much better than this. These transfers, there isn't one transfer that's left that was actually going to play at the U of A. That's with all due respect. Cruz Rushing was never playing here. Amon Allen was not going to play here. Canyon Moses was not going to play here. Nobody that Arizona's lost is, these are a lot of, again, I'm sure they're all great kids, a lot of OKGs.
Yeah, like, all great kids. I'm not saying anything negative about any of them. Like, Amon Allen, great dude, great family. His biggest offer since he entered the portal is NAU.
Right.
And Canyon Moses, I don't know where he's going. Isaiah Taylor will probably wind up somewhere pretty good with his connections, but this is very different in the sense that these guys are just depth, and they're very easily replaceable. I mean, that's the fact of the matter is they're replaceable. They're replaceable by freshmen coming in. Arizona's going to do just fine. As for the decommitments, because I see that question, Quimari Shumwell is the only guy that Arizona's lost that they wanted. The other guys have been mutual parting of ways. Utah gave Shumwell a very nice NIL package. Arizona said, you know what, we're not going to match it. Have fun at Utah. And that was that. But the other guys have all been mutual parting of ways.
Yes, that's by the way, I just had somebody tweet at me about the Kia Boys class action lawsuit. All right, this is a good question because I have nothing about JDL. I would imagine JDL is going to stick with it through the bowl game, just because I would have thought that he would have entered by now if he was going to enter by now, Scheer.
Well, here's the thing. He can't enter because he hasn't graduated. I mean, he can, but he can't choose a school and enroll. My guess is he plays in the bowl game. Jedd probably says, look, play in the bowl game. Calm down, man.
I'm trying to tweet something out.
We need a backup quarterback and all that. And then after the bowl game, I would think that we see him in the portal. Here's the deal. These guys on this Arizona team have worked very hard to make a bowl game. It wouldn't surprise me if Arizona plays in the bowl and then a few more guys enter the portal. And they deserve it, to be honest. Like, this team doesn't make bowls, so you might as well enjoy it.
And people need to remember this as well, that this is a good thing that, and again, it's not like these other guys are going to other places, but again, Shumwell was the only person that Arizona isn't probably looking to just recruit over. New things are different now, ladies and gentlemen. This is Arizona is a top 15 status at this point. You're trying to get into guys that if you have a 4 or 5 star kid that wants to come here, you're going to make room for him.
And here's the deal, and I hate saying this because I work for 24/7. High school ratings and class ratings will never be the same.
Right.
They are less meaningful now than they ever have been, which is why we have a We have a high school, a transfer, and a composite ranking now. We have 3 different ones because people are saying, oh, Arizona's high school ranking is in the 40s. First of all, it's going to go up. Second of all, if your high school ranking's in the 35 and you land 10 awesome transfers, it doesn't necessarily reflect all the time. So you're going to see kind of a more variation in the high school rankings now.
By the way, we have exciting news to announce. Very exciting news. Guess who's going to be joining the show later in the show, Jason Scheer?
The Kia boys.
Not the Kia boys, no. If somebody even better, somebody that is not detestable.
Jacob Franklin?
The great Jacob Franklin from Mesa, Arizona. The great Jacob Franklin will be joining us. We are very excited. That is called a tease, ladies and gentlemen. But since I'm excited about that, why don't we also bring up BetMGM? Okay, here's the deal with BetMGM, the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Jason Scheer and I have been telling you from day one to continue to take the over on the Wildcats. If you had, you would have been a rich person by now. Okay, sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. If the bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once the wager is settled. Again, $1,500 first bet offer. Very exciting. Check out the show notes for full details. Let's hear Shane with the disclaimer.
Problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
All right, now, Ontario, you didn't get your mention in there. Okay, Arizona Lottery also, scratchers start at just $1, Jason Scheer, $1. You see Scheer looking down right there? That means that he's probably getting his Arizona Lottery scratchers. Top prizes, oh, there it is.
I'm looking it up for my guy Joseph. Arizona's third best odds to win the title right now.
And Arizona should have the best odds to win it. We will get to that. All right,
go ahead. Funny face by Mike. Purdue's number 1, Mike.
Oh, Big Ten. Go out and buy your holiday scratchers today, my friends. Arizona Lottery. Terrible. The Big Ten. We did get the Frank Caliendo impression of Mike Luke. By the way, guess who is going to be front and center at Frank Caliendo's concert up in Phoenix this Saturday? Me. Guess who's going to have a backstage pass? Me. Very excited. Pasco definitely rigged those odds. That's very, very funny. All right, we're going to get to Arizona basketball. We're going to get to all the odds. Now we got to talk about some people that have been screwed over. Jedd Fisch should have won the Conference Coach of the Year. It is absolutely awesome that Kalen DeBoer went undefeated. He's done an amazing job. At the end of the day, though, Arizona was picked to finish near the bottom of the conference. Guess what? Arizona is third in the conference, and they are knocking on the top 10 door. Jedd Fisch 1,000% by any metric should have won the Coach of the Year, Scheer.
So we've discussed like how we look at Coach of the Year before, and I'm unique in that, like, if you're supposed to be good and you're still good, I don't really, and this goes for anything, even Arizona with Tommy Lloyd. I don't tend to want to vote you Coach of the Year. It's just how I vote. Arizona wasn't supposed to make a bowl and finish 9-3. That to me is Coach of the Year, 100%. I think what Kalen DeBoer has done is awesome. I get people voting for him. I'm not like raging at it, but to me, Jedd Fisch is the Coach of the Year. Might be the national Coach of the Year.
Well, that's going to be my next state. Who has done a better job nationally than the Coach of the Year than Jedd Fisch? Honestly, this is a team. You got to remember, we got to put this all into a perspective. This was a team that 2 years ago was 1-11. When I started working here at PHNX, when Jacob Franklin first met me, Arizona was in the midst of a 12-game losing streak that hit 20. That was just 2 years ago. This team is now knocking on the top 10 door. Nobody has done more in such a short amount of time than the great Jedd Fisch.
The only one, in my opinion, that is up there, well, there's two guys I'd probably look at, and I'm voting Jedd. Number one is the Northwestern interim coach, because what he did is pretty remarkable. And then the other one is Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, because I think that he had but I still wouldn't vote either of them over Jedd. I mean, shoot, I look at Jerry Kill, our boy Jerry Kill at New Mexico State, and what he did was wild. But it still comes back to Jedd to me.
Absolutely. It should 1,000% be Jedd Fisch. Jedd, we have your back. And here's my thing. If you're not going to win the conference coach of the year when you're expected to finish almost dead last and you're competing for a conference championship into the last week, again, what are we doing here? Washington, awesome. They were expected to be really good. Jedd Fisch was not expected to be very good. I don't get it, Scheer, but again, but we both agree Jedd Fisch should be the conference coach of the year, and Jedd Fisch should be the national coach of the year. This is true, Jason Scheer.
Washington's, I just looked it up. Washington's win total in Vegas preseason was over under 9.
And and Arizona started out at 4.5. We know that because we were talking about it all off season.
Yeah. I mean, 9 wins, and I realize you go undefeated, but you were healthy all year. Yeah. You know, Arizona had a quarterback change. I mean, there's things. Shoot, you could even make a case. I like DeBoer. Like, you could make a case for Norvell over DeBoer because his quarterback got hurt and he still went out and won 3 games without him. It's just, look, to me, it's Jedd Fisch because I know it's a 1-year award, but we just, as Arizona fans, we know where this program was 2 years ago.
Right.
And we know where it was last year. And like it's like what we said with Nansen. Nansen not being nominated for the Broyles Award for the best assistant is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
All right. That is the end of the timestamp. I'm sending this because my pen just broke. I'm sending this to Jacob Franklin right now so he can remember this for me. Jacob Franklin, you are getting this text as we speak. It's somewhere in there. That is going to be the clip. We did an amazing job. All right, Joseph, I didn't want to put this in the clip, but you make a good point. The only thing that I can hold against Jedd Fisch to a certain degree is the Noah Fifita JDL debacle. Listen, I get it. I get all the politics. I get all that. Arizona is not 9-3 if Noah Fifita is starting. I get there's politics and all that involved. Noah Fifita was the better quarterback. That was I don't know if you want to call it a miseval, whatever the case is, but that was a miseval.
Yeah, it's really weird. Even to this day, like everyone, like other reporters, I'm not going to name names, but other local media has started to notice it because it happened. Like Noah will play great, and Jedd will be like, but we also have to credit Jaden for
no, we don't
being there emotionally for him. And I don't know if the only thing I could think of is maybe Jaden is more emotionally fragile than Noah, where like if you say something wrong, it's weird. It's super weird.
It's really weird, and honestly, that's my only quibble with Jedd Fisch this entire year is the JDL stuff. And I do believe that midway through the season, if he could have really turned back to JDL, he would have gone right back to JDL, and you believe this as well.
Well, it's still weird because even when he was talking about like Noah, he's like, yeah, in like the Alamo press conference, he's like, yeah, you know, Jaden got hurt and Noah got a hot hand. And it's like, no, Noah's really good. It's not a hot hand.
No,
like,
Noah's better, coach.
Right,
Noah's significantly better.
And we always joke that like he's going to open up next spring with an open competition between Noah and Jaden. It's like the longer it takes for Jaden not to enter the portal, the longer it takes for Jaden not to enter the portal, the more nervous I get.
We got to talk about that just for a second, because I know it sounds like a joke. By the way, you should see all of the Scheer, our group chats. It's essentially me trolling 70% of the time, then us wondering if JDL is actually coming back. Listen, I wish JDL nothing but the best. I need JDL, though, to go somewhere else. Because I do worry if he's back, the Jedd opens up the quarterback competition. Am I stupid in being that I think that's a legitimate concern?
I don't think it's a legitimate concern, but a part of me is like,
there's a
chance. It happen? Like, I don't know. There's got to be a Jaden. If Jaden wants, here's this. If Jaden wants a future career, he has to leave Arizona. He just has.
The problem, though, is let me ask you this, though. The problem is there's a lot of baggage taking on Jayden de Laura at this point. Who is really going to – is a Power 5 school going to take Jayden de Laura?
No, it's got to be like a Mountain West. Like
like Oregon State, Clint Moses, the great Clint Moses. Oregon State, JDL.
Oregon State, Fresno State, anybody with a state, basically.
Yeah.
You have a state in your name.
By By the way, Clint Moses, I got to give you guys a lot of credit, by the way. And I'm going to say this one more time. Oregon State fans can be very, very mean. They're much meaner than Washington State fans. But, man, I enjoy the tenacity of Oregon State fans. Washington State fans, they all went away after they lost. Now they're reemerging because they think they have money. You guys, I will say this. You guys are committed to the core. Oregon State fans, salute emoji, tip of the cap, everything involved.
I feel really bad for Oregon State. They've been gutted.
Too.
I mean, they have been absolutely gutted by the transfer portal. DJ's in there. Childs is in there. I don't like their offensive coordinator hire whatsoever. Velling is in there. Their best safety, their best linebacker. I mean, they're high
4-star. I didn't know that they had a 4-star quarterback that was a high 4-star quarterback.
Childs is a bad dude. I mean, he is legit.
Hey, Tad. Do not lump Scheer and myself in here with on JDL. Scheer is right on many things that I am wrong on. I thought you guys were too tough on. Oh, no, never mind. No, I no. He wasn't good. That's all we said.
Yeah, we weren't tough.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't good. I don't know what to say when you throw 3 interceptions in the first 5 minutes of your first game of the season and you don't recover. I mean.
Here's how you frame it, right? Arizona's 9-3. Right.
Hold on, I love this one. And Tad, this is with all due respect. I appreciate you tuning in. Who are you to say? We're giving our opinions. This is called an opinions show. So it is 1000% his right, as it is mine, as it is yours. That is he is to say that. Go ahead.
Who am I to say what? I don't. Tad, what am I saying?
I will say. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Look, Arizona beats Mississippi State. I won't even add Washington and USC. Let's just say Arizona beats Mississippi State with Noah. They're in the Fiesta Bowl. That's it. They're in the Fiesta Bowl. Their combined losses this year, 3 losses so far, 16 points total. That's it.
Do you think that it's somewhat, listen, I can't coach, obviously, but if I was just in charge of the depth chart and the roster decisions, Arizona's probably the number 1 overall seed in the entire college football playoffs. You agree with this?
Wait, what?
Arizona, if I'm telling Jedd, listen, Jedd, here's what you got to do. By the way, Lockdown 81 definitely thinks I'm serious on this, but I'll let him think that. If it was just Mike Luke in charge of player personnel saying, Jedd, you got to play this guy, we're undefeated at this point, correct?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Oh, by the way, I do like this one. Damian Martinez. I would take Damian Martinez. Mike,
he says he's staying. I'll believe it when I see it.
One player we need to talk about in the portal. Then we're going to get to Noah Fifita because he should be the national freshman of the year. I don't care about some safety from Alabama. Chip Trainum. I would 1000% go after Chip Trainum. I like Trainum a lot. Ex-ASU running back, Ohio State, big back. We've been talking about how you want a big back. He's good, Scheer.
No, he sucks. But he only had 85 carries this past year for 300 yards. He's not very good. He's not good.
You would take him.
I would only take him because it would be funny.
But he's doing that in the Big Ten. That's like playing against the NFL.
No.
It's the bookie show. I don't know what your points are. But whatever.
What?
All right. Let's all right. So you would not take Chip Trainum.
You're some bookies. It's the bookie show. Is Tad okay?
I don't know. Tad, we appreciate you listening, though. Let's we'll leave it at that. By the way, maybe listen, Tad seems like a cool guy. She gets some shady rays, just like Jason Scheer. Listen, the one thing about me is that I am not cool. There is no Jacob Franklin can attest to this. There is no cool factor with Mike Luke. The one thing, though, the one saving grace is possibly Shady Rays, because Shady Rays are awesome and they look cool. Here's the deal. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And our friend Tad might need some OGs. Check it out. OGs, all kinds of good stuff. You will definitely thank me on this one. Learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them. Head over to ogsbrands.com, my friends, and picture this. You're on the couch, your favorite team on the screen, and a bag of OG's gummies in hand. Talk about a winning combination. Gummies, all of that stuff, you name it, they've got it. Okay. Now, Noah Fifita should be the National Freshman of the Year. The conference actually got that one right, that he was the freshman of the year. I was worried that they were going to try to give it to Jaden Rashada. Noah Fifita should 1000% be the national freshman of the year for what he did. His impact was far bigger than some safety from Alabama.
Yeah, I'd have to like really dive in to see who it is. Right. I know Jaden Daniels I don't know if they released the team. Jaden Daniels just got College Football Player of the Year, which is fine. I don't know if they released the teams fully yet, but I got to think that Noah Fifita is the best freshman in the country.
Just for what he did, I don't know TLN. That was very funny. But I don't get where, I just don't get what the argument is against him. I mean, you complete 75% of your passes. You're at a non-traditional school and your team is winning games after they weren't winning games after you. That's the other thing we got to bring up. Arizona was 1-3 with JDL as a starter. Or was it? I guess if you count the Stanford game, which Noah bailed him out on, I just don't know what the argument is for Noah Fifita not being the national freshman of the year, Jason Scheer.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Athletic released their teams today or yesterday, and I'm kind of just looking at who it could possibly be. Tulane as a running back that ran for 1,300 yards.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
it's only that Alabama dude. I spent some time actually researching this last night. It's only that Alabama guy. He's very good.
Nick Anderson is up there. Your boy Nick Anderson. There's a few offensive linemen. You know who made first team All-American freshman?
Who?
On
Wendell
the Athletic.
Moy. Yep. Wendell Moy. I saw it. Wendell Moy. I actually thought Wendell Moy was a sophomore this year until I read that article.
Oh, is the junior talking about Caleb Downs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good, man.
He's really good. He's really good. Yeah, I looked at those. Listen, if it's Caleb Downs, I don't agree with it, but I can at least.
I'd be okay with, 99 tackles, a return punt for a touchdown, 3 picks. He's good. But I'm giving it to Noah. And we're not biased.
We're giving it to Noah. Oh, by the way, since you guys want locks, Scheer can vouch for this. I messaged in group last night and I said, you guys want a lock? I said the Clippers, there is no chance they are losing to the Nuggets tonight. Even when they got out to like a 16-0 deficit, I stood resolute. Scheer, this is true.
And John Brogan was adamant.
Yes.
That you were wrong, and you weren't. You nailed it.
No, I wasn't. That was a very good. Yeah. So there's my lock from yesterday. If anybody's interested. All right, let's talk about the all-conference teams. I would love that Jacob Manu got. I love that Jacob Manu got first team all-conference. He definitely deserved that. Let's see here. Go back on your sports med guys like Eric and Totri who are going to sport. I don't know what that means. All right, but yeah, I don't know what it means. What were we just talking about? I lost my train of thought.
All conference teams.
Oh, love that Manu got on there. And here's where, again, Arizona fans are probably going to beat me up, which they should. By the way, Zachariah Branch will not easily win the National Freshman of the Year. It won't. He didn't win this conference Freshman of the Year.
I think that's sarcasm. Maybe.
Okay, good. Yeah, T. Burns. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm very dense. Not sometimes, but here's where it is with T-Mac. If you're only going to put 2 wide receivers on,
that doesn't bother me a lot.
It doesn't. I agree, because Franklin and Dunze are awesome.
Yeah, they had real. It doesn't really bother me that much. Like those guys had really, really good years. Like the Pac-12 had really good wide receivers.
Yeah, that to me is not. Now listen, I do believe that they should have had 3 wide receivers on that. And then T-Mac would have been in there, but I can't sit here and say that Rome Odunze or Troy Franklin should not be on there. But next year, T-Mac's going to make his, Kevin, or Brad Rich, here comes the Kevin Green plug. Yes, next year, Kevin Green, 800 yards. We're big fans of Kevin Green on this show, or at least I am. Jordan Morgan, obviously first team. Were you surprised that Big Jonah didn't get more love?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, but there were a couple games where he did struggle.
Right, for sure. Don't worry, everybody. Jonah's going to make up his money in the NFL. Jonah's going to make up his money in the NFL next year or the following year. We agree on this, though, Scheer.
Yeah, he'll be just fine.
But next year, though, in the Big 12, I think there is going to be a lot of Arizona team or players that are going to be littered on that first team all conference. I think Noah Fifita is going to have a very good chance. I think T-Mac is going to have a good chance. You don't like Jonah Coleman. You don't think that he has any chance. But Big Jonah is going to have a chance. Ephesians Price, Tetairoa Davis, all kinds of different people there, Scheer.
Yeah, they're gonna look like Oregon State on the all conference. You know which one also I didn't like? Tight ends.
What's that? Oh,
I
didn't even think about that. How did T-Mac not get on there?
All right, so I'm gonna give you who had the better season: 42 catches, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns; 40 catches, 396 yards, 5 touchdowns.
The first one.
Okay, the first one was Terrence Ferguson. The second one is Tanner McLaughlin. It really is. The only difference is 1 touchdown. Tanner had more catches, more yards. Tanner should have been at least second team. Jack Velling got first team.
Yeah, he got robbed. By the way, Joseph, this is a good question. Noah or Scheer next year? I'll take Noah.
Yeah, I'll take Noah.
I'll take Noah's. I mean, listen, Scheer is awesome. If Scheer's better, then I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, what did I know? But I think those are the 2 best quarterbacks in the conference next year.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Tyler Warden, I like it. Can you send us these mocks? I believe you, but I would like to see these because
I saw one too. I saw one. I don't remember who it was from that had Price like at 36.
Okay, so you would have next year. You could conceivably have you'll have T-Mac and Jonah, which are pretty close to locks to be first round picks. Ephesians in there as well. Tetairoa Davis, if he could catch passes, maybe.
Is Tetairoa is Ephesians better than Tetairoa? I don't know that he is.
I don't know that he is either, but I will say this. When you watch him in practice, there is a little bit of he looks a little bit more fluid. Tetairoa's awesome, so I can't. But
I think Price Hawk's build, you look at him and you go, okay, he can get stronger. He's huge. Tetairoa's kind of built like a safety a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. Joseph, same player. I think you're actually right on that. Oh, we have been remiss this entire show. Scheer did not do it again, and I'm going to have to pick it up the slack. You know where I'm going with this?
O-line.
Leif Magnuson. Listen, we've talked a lot about the offensive line. Leif Magnuson has been an underreported hero during all of this because he's started a ton of games, and honestly, he's been very good. Leif has not gotten the love, and that comes certainly from me that he should. This has been you win games with players like Leif Magnuson. He's been loyal to the program. He's a great dude, and he's been good on the field. Scheer, Leif Magnuson, sign me up for 2.
Yeah, I think the issue is a lot of times with the O-linemen, they never get the respect they deserve. Like, we don't talk about Leif, and usually you only talk about O-linemen when they're doing poorly.
True.
And so it's like, we're not mentioning Leif because he's been consistent. We don't talk a lot about Wendell Moy because there's no reason to talk about Wendell Moy. I mean, it's a situation where, and then you look at the O-line next year, and a guy like Leif is clearly valuable that can move around and all that. And Brendan Carroll has said he likes players on his line to be able to play multiple positions, but we've kind of overlooked him a little bit when talking about the depth chart next year.
And that is 1,000% on me. Leif, again, Leif, Quinn, you guys are awesome. And again, Leif, a big-time contributor on the field, and again, deserves all the love that he gets and more. By the way, you know what also deserves some love? Scheer, Empire Flooring. Okay, now, my parents, I'm not actually making this up. My parents actually got their flooring from Empire Flooring, and my parents are very particular with their floors. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. They will come in there and they will check everything out. They keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you. I can speak that. Whatever that means. I can vouch for that. All right, now, let's see here. We don't have a Circle K read today, Brad, unfortunately. Now, Scheer, what are some other transfer portal guys we need to know? This is your scoop right here. I don't have this scoop.
DJ Westlack from Missouri. He was Missouri wants him as a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him in as a linebacker or as a defensive end, then they moved him to linebacker. He wants to be a defensive end. Arizona's in on him. Notre Dame defensive lineman Aiden Kinaina, Polynesian. Pretty obvious why Arizona's in on him as well. And there's probably going to be some other visitors. I'd assume.
I'm all about Chuba though.
Yeah, big
Chuba
dude
would be awesome. Yes, but we need to get back Big Bill Norton. By the way, we could have 800 pounds. Could we go with a 2-down lineman front if you got back Chuba, or if you got back Big Bill Norton and Chuba? 2-down linemen and like 9 pass rushing linebackers. I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, you're all in on that. All right, now who would be your? Now let's go. We're going to get to a little bit of Arizona basketball. We're going to get to a little bit of Arizona basketball as well. We're going to talk a little bit of Big 12 before we sign off. Heisman Trophy winner. I would go with Michael Penix. I know that he had a couple games where he wasn't very good. I know I can't vote for Jaden Daniels. Jacob Franklin's coming in here as well. Jacob Franklin, I'm adding you to the screen because you can talk about it. Let's ask Jacob Franklin himself. Jacob Franklin, unmute your mic.
Okay.
Do you claim Jaden Daniels if he wins the Heisman? As ASU was
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how many ASU fans would, because there was a lot of love lost when he left. It was not exactly the prettiest of departures, but yeah, sure. Yeah, we got to take our wins where we get them.
Do you wonder about Herm's coaching being the fact that all those ASU players that left turned out to be really, really good in their next school?
No,
Johnny
I mean, it was just really interesting because they had like mild success while Herm was here before all of this stuff happened. Like, it was like they weren't awful, but like it takes a staff.
All right. Jacob Franklin, you're hopping in here to talk some ASU basketball and how it compares to Arizona basketball. Jacob Franklin, this is true. Is very, very, and Scheer, this is true. He is very bullish on this ASU basketball team. You messaged me during the San Francisco game. You believe that ASU could beat Arizona. Make the case, Jacob Franklin.
From a defensive standpoint, I don't even know if I can believe this myself. From a defensive standpoint, they just force a lot of turnovers. So I think if they get them into a bad situation, I really worry that they might only score 30 points. Like, that offense could just go ice cold and not hit a shot for the entirety of the game. Although they'll shoot 40 free throws, just thanks to Jose Perez himself.
I do like Jose. Would Jose Perez play at Arizona, Scheer and Jacob Franklin?
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd start.
Would play at Arizona.
Oh.
Frankie would probably get some time.
Frankie would probably back up and get a little bit of time. Perez, that's it.
Would Frankie play over Jaden Bradley?
Probably not, actually. He turns the ball over too much. You know who I love on it?
He's a guy that he plays pretty good defense. He'll get you. He's averaging like 3 steals a game this year. It's pretty crazy.
My favorite player in ASU is Alonzo Gaffney.
Oh,
because he has the players that play last night were like the game was close and he took one dribble and did like a fadeaway to the side going out of bounds and hit the top of the backboard. Like, I love guys like that who's like, I'm just gonna shoot it, I can make it. I love that.
We call him the praying mantis.
Yeah.
You messaged me if you're a big Alonzo Gaffney fan, Jacob Franklin.
Oh yeah, so the Alonzo Gaffney thing has stemmed all the way back to when we started doing this, because Shane and Totri, it's like a love-hate relationship with him, because it's just like the dude looks like he could be otherworldly, because I'm pretty sure his wingspan is like 7'5" or 7'6". Like, he looks like he could just physically dominate people, but he loves to pretend like he's a 6'2" guard that can take the most absurd shots, and he misses. Like, he'll airball like 3 threes a game, but then he'll also it's just so weird because he'll knock down like another 2 of them like nothing but net. Like, it's one of the weirdest things you'll ever watch.
To show you the impact that Jacob Franklin has had on this show, when Jacob Franklin hopped in, I wanted to keep an eye on this. There were 88 lives. There's 102 right now. Jacob Franklin, this is the sign that you need to come on more often. The people want Jacob Franklin.
I'm good.
Who would? Oh, wow. That was great. Who would win, Grand Canyon or ASU?
I think it'd be a really good game. It just depends on the venue for me. I think they both win at home.
What is Duke Brennan's stat line?
10 points and 5 rebounds. He's really not all that great. Have you
Oh,
looked at his stats this
Whoa,
year?
whoa!
Have you looked at his stats this year?
what is he, like
Yeah, they're
8 and 6?
He's
they're
averaging
like
like 7 points and 5 rebounds a game.
He's
But
shooting 65% from the field.
Jacob,
He's
doesn't his,
averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds a game.
That's Alonzo
Barely
Gaffney.
shooting. Yeah, I know. I never said Gaffney was better than Brennan.
doesn't his impact go beyond the score sheet, though? Isn't he
You
the
call
guy?
that intangibles, is what
Isn't
we
he
call
an
that.
intangible guy, though?
He's a golden retriever for sure.
Oh, wow. I like
Wow.
it. Duke Brennan, the golden retriever right there. By the way,
27 minutes against San Diego State, our guy Duke Brennan.
yeah, but he only had like 5 points, didn't he?
he
Look,
had 5
27
points and
minutes,
3 rebounds.
2 for 2 from the field.
Jacob, he's efficient.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob. Wow, got to ask you. And then we're going to talk a little bit of Arizona basketball. Little Arizona basketball, and you can stay on or you can stay off. It's your Arizona. Where are you with Bobby Hurley? Do you are you a? Oh, by the way, I think people saw me gloating about Jacob Franklin. It's now back to 88. Jacob, you got us the 14, and then they went away.
Yeah, because they don't like hearing facts, but it's okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we're here for this. All right, but Jacob, on a serious note, though, Bobby Hurley, where are you at with Bobby Hurley? Because I love Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley is such an I think probably 4 times a season I'll text one of my friends and I'm like, yeah, no, Bobby's not it. And then like they'll go on a run where for like 2 straight weeks they look like a real basketball team, and I'm like, well, maybe Bobby Hurley figured it out. And I'm like, is it just because they're athletic? I really never know what to expect from this team, like on a nightly basis. That's kind of why they're super entertaining to watch, like even on the nights where they only score 49 points in a game, because you just really never know whether you're going to go into it and see something truly special or something truly special in a completely different way. Like it's a crapshoot. And that's what I think. Like Bobby Hurley is a really intriguing personality, because you would just think that a guy who like made his living being a facilitator would understand how to run an offense and like teach offensive sets and train this team to actually shoot the lights out of the ball. But then like they come into the season and like I said, they're airballing threes and like they run the Princeton. My favorite is when you look over on the sideline and Bobby's like, it's like, oh boy, here we go. Like about to see the Princeton offense for the next 7 minutes, but somehow it works. And like they're 6-2, and I know that their 2 losses are against 2 top 40 KenPom teams. They've won their last 4, and all of them are top 100 KenPom teams. So I see like
tournament?
BCAT. I think they could do it. Like BCAT in here as KenPom, Grand Canyon 71, ASU 89. But ASU was like the 300th KenPom team after they started the season. Like they've made some significant strides toward being in the top 75. So like this early in the season, it's really hard to take a bunch of, stock in that. Like I could see them climbing a little bit further here soon.
Who would you rather party with, Jacob Franklin? Kenny. I thought this said Kenny G for a second. Kenny D or Bobby Hurley?
Probably Bobby.
Yeah, I think so as well. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob Franklin. As always, we appreciate you hopping in here. Oh, the number's back up to 92. You were still a net 14. We like that. Jacob's plus minus is at 14 right now. We like that, Jacob Franklin.
Then I'm going to salvage it.
All right, man. Appreciate you. All right, Scheer, we got to talk a little bit Arizona basketball before we sign off. First of all, do you want to apologize now or just continue on your message boards about Cody Williams in Colorado, since there's a lot of Tad Boyle talk?
Yeah, no, he's been good.
All right. Scheer didn't think Arizona should have offered Cody Williams. I did. I need Cody Williams to be LeBron James so I can continuously to bring this up. No, but Wisconsin all of a sudden is an interesting game because Wisconsin's definitely better than I thought they were. We're going to preview this in depth tomorrow. Scheer knows he's coming on tomorrow, so I'm not just springing this on him. But this is actually going to turn out to be a good win, assuming Arizona can beat Wisconsin, because they're actually pretty good.
Yeah. Wisconsin's actually moving up in KenPom. I think they're like 12th now. They're good. They're disciplined. They defend well. They very solid team.
Yeah, and that's where it's interesting too, because they've also got really good wins at this point too. You're going to have to take them seriously. I didn't think that Arizona was going to have to take them seriously. Felt to me like they had fallen off a little bit. Again, we're going to get into all the in-depth matchups, but I'm also at the stage, though, where I do think that Arizona should still be able to overwhelm Wisconsin, even though they haven't played them yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what the spread is. The Ken Palm spread is
What's
only
the Ken Palm spread?
6.
Yeah, I mean that kind of tells you what you need to tell. This is going to be this is going to be a pretty good game, and Wisconsin again feels like another top 25 team. That's the other reason we have to bank these wins because the Pac-12 is poo. If you could get Wisconsin, you obviously got Purdue, national betting favorite Purdue. Alabama, got to get these wins where you can. Scheer, FAU.
Yeah, FAU's awesome. I love it. I know they lost to Illinois. I love watching FAU. I really do.
FAU's got the best guard units in the country. We agree.
Yeah. I mean, Davis and Martin, yeah, they're awesome. Their big man is really good. They're not as good with him off the court. They take a major drop. So when Arizona plays them, if they can get Golden into foul trouble, FAU is in deep trouble if that happens.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, I'm looking at their numbers, man. Like, they're good. Like,
they are good.
They're 15th on offense, 22nd on defense. They rebound the heck out of the ball. They shoot 80% from the free throw line. They are good.
Robert Madrill, the great Robert Madrill, 11 on Ken Palm, second highest scheduled opponent behind Purdue. Let's see. The Badgers podcast is amped for the game. They believe they can slow us down and beat us like they did Marquette.
I mean, every team that has Michigan State thought that they could slow Arizona down. They didn't. Duke wanted to slow Arizona down. They didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Tommy Gunn's teams generally, especially this one, I don't believe you can really slow them down without Jacob Franklin. If you could look at this question I just asked you in the chat. But we're going to break that one down in depth. That would be a very nice one that would be a very nice little win as well. Also, FOCO. Have I told you about FOCO, Jason Scheer?
Please do, Mike. I can always hear about it.
FOCO always has our back for Arizona sports, just like your pooches have your back right now. And they have yours as well. Get the best gear around by visiting www.foco.com and use code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use the promo code PHNX10 for 10% off. There's also no better time to become a PHNX diehard, my friends. Go to GoPHNX, get in there, hop in, get the Discord chat, get the cool merchandise. Again, it goes from fitting people like Jason Scheer and myself to fitting the great Jacob Franklin. That's how cool it is, and it looks very good on top of that. All right, I'm not sure if I believe I read the Arizona Lottery twice, but I'm going to read it again just to make sure. Arizona Lottery, Scheer, have you made any money this month?
Not yet, but any minute.
You need to get in there. Check out Arizona Lottery. Scratchers start at just $1. Top prizes up to $500,000. Go out and buy your holiday scratchers. Have you ever won anything on with scratchers? I know people that have.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
a lot of people have.
Again, to quote Brad Rich, Scheer will thank me later on this one. All right, Jacob Franklin, I've already signed these ones off. My pen broke. That's why I had to ask you. Now, Scheer, where can they find you?
WildcatAuthority.com, Wildcat Scoop Podcast with Shelby and at Jason Scheer on Twitter.
AZ Wildcat fan, you are the best. I appreciate the gifts you surrendered to. Is surrendered the right term? Surrendering gifts?
No, but let's just go with it.
Okay. By the way, what good games are on tonight, Scheer?
None. There's no good games today or tomorrow. I knew you were going to ask.
Excuse me. Arizona State volleyball is in the Sweet 16. ESPNU at 9:30.
ESPNU at
9:30.
9:30. Oh, hey, get back in here. Get back in here. Break this one down for us, Jake. We like the frisky Jacob Franklin.
Is Nebraska still in it?
Yes, Nebraska is still. Yeah, they are still in it. They are pretty much always in it until at least the Elite Eight. They never really lose before the Sweet 16. This is a really interesting story, actually. Arizona State volleyball was actually the first beat that I ever covered when I started my journalism career at Cronkite. So I spent like 3 years
Cronkite.
But yeah, so I spent like 3 years covering ASU volleyball because I spent my whole life watching volleyball. My sister played at Kentucky. So I've got a pretty big tie back to the sport.
Your brother-in-law's a coach as well, correct?
Yeah, my brother-in-law coaches at Upstate College in South Carolina. So yeah, I watch a lot of volleyball, but ASU volleyball for like the last 7 years was just like a sport that was in complete turmoil. Like there was some really gnarly things that happened with one of the coaches. And then like the coach that took over was just really, really bad for about 5 years. And then they get this, the USC assistant coach's name is JJ Van Neal. He comes in this year, wins Pac-12 coach of the year. The team goes 26-6 and makes the Sweet 16 for the first time ever. So like, it was this really like cool, crazy turnaround. So just a really interesting story.
By the way, I got something else that I've been meaning to ask. Scheer, since you're on, you've met Brody Dry. I was debating this with Jacob Franklin yesterday. Brody Dryden and Jacob Franklin, both 6'9". Who has a better hair game, Jacob Franklin or Brody Dryden?
It's close, man.
Dude, isn't it?
It's close. That's a good question. Twitter poll?
We got to get that. That is a Twitter poll. Oh, that's a great.
Brody should probably win. My hair's kind of a mess right now.
No. We'll get it. Jacob Franklin. We're going to find a picture of you with your hair all coiffed. And Brody Dryden, and we're going to say which monster has the better hair game. That's a good one.
People want to know. The people need to know.
Scheer, can you find pictures of both these people?
Sure, whatever you need, Mike.
Who has a better layup, Jacob or Brody? Jacob, you left. All right.
You want to go brush his hair, I bet.
All right. We're going to put Jacob, that poll is coming out there. This is fantastic. Scheer, will you retweet this poll?
Absolutely.
All right. As everybody out there, thanks for putting up with our nonsense. Jose L. Roman Jr., thanks for backing us from Davis Monthan Air Force Base. Salute. For Jason, by the way, I won't get the terms right, so I'll come up with that one later. But all right, for Jason Scheer, I'm Mike Luke, the great, the esteemed, the profiled Jacob _Franklin 4. I am merely Mike Luke. We will get this poll up shortly. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.